Nice.
Beautiful little mountain town.
Nice.
Alright guys, real quick, that was a package from a few places, man. I mostly got all my pickups from Japan. I wasn't really feeling like opening the Ahsoka just yet and the Bo-Katan, so I'm gonna go ahead and hold out on those. But right here, as you guys can see it, I got the 100% full power Frieza in all its glory, man. Shout out to Omar, Real Figures. He kind of hooked it up by letting me know that the figure was in stock. I kind of missed out on it with the original pre-order, man. But he came through. I really appreciate you, Omar, man. Like I always do, go check out his channel. But yeah, man, finally I got this figure in hand. One of my most anticipated figures of 2024. So right off the bat, man, I love this figure. I can't say enough how fun this thing is. I just I can't stop posing it, man. This thing is just amazing. The sculpt worked on this, the overall just setup of it. It really impressed me, man. Because you would think this chunky boy right here, this full blown bodybuilder, wouldn't be able to pose the way he does, and Bandai just kind of killed it with the posing. I do have a gripes, as you guys already know. I have a few gripes as always, but the way this guy poses, like, look at those shoulders, man. The way he can come so close together, like you wouldn't be able to think he had that much mobility with the way his shoulders are sculpted and still super accurate to the manga. Like this is great, man. Like his articulation is just right off. Like yeah, so getting into a quick for a few more details here. Like look at all the sculpting that was done in this figure. Like all around, man. This thing I want to say is either on par with the legendary Super Saiyan Goku or better, man. Like this thing is crazy. The head sculpts are just immaculate, as you guys saw earlier. I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm just glazing this figure at this point, guys. I'm just fucking just singing its praises all around. But I just can't help to have so much fun with this thing. Like, look at my boy, man. Motherfucker hits back day for sure. They cut his tail, they got the cut tail right there. But just the sculpting, like you got like the damaging lines that if you really wanted to, you can hit him with like a Gundam marker and get that manga look where you get the black lining, the black, a little bit of paneling, you would call it, I guess. I don't know what you would call it, but just everything is here you would want. And just look at him, man. He looks so bulky, so awesome. He's just continuing with the little overview, man. He comes with a bunch of accessories too. Guys, it's just like a quick overview, but yeah, he comes with like these power effects. They're super cool. I still have the hand attached to it. He comes with like extra feet, extra heads, like anything you would want on a full power Frieza is here. And this guy just looks like a work of art. Now, real quick, let's get into some gripes. They're pretty minor gripes, but they're still there. Now, first thing, the shoulders are a little too stiff for my liking. I kind of wish they were a little smoother, but I mean, it is what it is. It comes with big round shoulders that are the design of Frieza. Another thing that is really common is the paint rubbing on that middle part right here, the little middle chest area that's purple. It tends to happen with a lot of Friezas. The rubbing is there. A little bit around the ab area tends to turn purple. Another thing is the purple does not really match the other release of Frieza. It's minor, like I said, not that big of a deal. But the big deal for me, the big one that kind of sucks that I really didn't enjoy is it's hard to make him stand. Now it just comes with it being top heavy, a bigger chest character. He's bulky on the top. But yeah, he just has a hard time standing, and he kind of gets me a little nervous when I'm displaying him. Other than that, man, this figure is just definitely. Before I get on out of here, I just want to show you guys a quick comparison between the legendary Super Saiyan Goku right here and 100% Frieza, how they look next to each other. Another thing I forgot to notice, mention real quick, is the blue shading on this Frieza. The bluish green shading looks really amazing, really awesome, really great. I forgot to mention that. And this Goku doesn't have any real shading on the body, if I remember correctly. I don't know if the re-release has any shading, but this guy starting to look way better than the legendary Super Saiyan Goku so far. Great update. Real quick, got the beginning of a few panels I'm trying to build. Getting a head start in DBZ Ember. Probably show you guys the panel I'm trying to build, but yeah, just building a few things here. Move on to the next panel. Working on panel number 2. All balanced, baby. All balanced. This is turning out to be a little more difficult than I anticipated, so this might turn into a 2-day shoot, but so far, finishing panel number 2. Day 2, some simple progress. No, it's all a bunch of little chunks coming together, but it's taking a little longer than I expected. Oh well, man, little progress. Let's keep it moving. Final panel for my DBC December. Yeah, man, I was planning on doing one more page of the manga, but I might just drop in 2s. But yeah, this is what it's looking like, guys. Didn't think I was gonna have so much fun creating panels, but I did, and it was kind of something I've been wanting to create for a long time. This epic battle, just awesome stuff, awesome figures. Had a lot of fun with this one, for sure. Now I don't know if I'm gonna drop all the manga pages I want to do during DBC Ember, or if I'm gonna, spread it out a little more. What do you guys think? See if this video drops by the end of December and see what I did. Let's check it. Real quick recap. A few episodes ago, I did say I had picked up something special, and for a pretty damn great price. And here it is. A whole new detail, man. It's been a minute since I've been trying to get a whole detail for my Dragon Ball display. Dragon Ball is just one of my biggest, franchises I just love, man. It's something that I hold close to my heart, and I just love it, and it has a lot of special memories for me. And I finally got to pick up a detail to display it, man. And like I said, I got a pretty good deal on it. $40 for this whole thing, man. If you guys know, details usually now, since I've discontinued, go for like $100 to $120. I've seen on the Facebook Marketplace and other places. But the guy I bought this one off of gave it to me for $40. And that shit was a steal, man. I had to snag it right away. Funny story, the guy said this thing was defective, that it didn't work, but he had just built it backwards. So I don't know what to tell you, man. The main issue was that the door doesn't close, and here we are. The door just opens fine, man. He had actually built it in upside down. If you guys can believe that shit. How do you build a detail upside down? I don't fucking know. But because he thought this shit didn't work, sold it to me for $40. And what a great combo, man. But yeah, this is something that I've kind of been holding close to the chest, and I finally have a whole display, and that means that my main display did change as well. So let's get into it. Let me show you guys my complete Dragon Ball display. Here we're going to be starting with the top shelf. So this top shelf was mainly non-canon stuff and kind of miscellaneous. So you guys can see I have both Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Vegeta right here front and center, ready to do their effects. Then on the left side, we got the movie universe, man. So yeah, these are all the movie villains we got so far in the SHF line. So we got Cooler, Metal Cooler, Turles. I finally broke out the Broly I had in storage, man. For the longest, I wasn't able really to display him, just because I couldn't find like a place for him. I just had a minimal display for Dragon Ball in one of my details. And I was kind of keeping it to, main anime stuff. So, main sagas and Super. So I really couldn't put in any of the movie stuff. So finally found a spot for him, man. This little corner of movie villains. Then to the right side, we got the superhero movie. Dragon Ball Super Superhero. So you guys can see, trying to get into a little more dynamic displays. I've been watching a lot of display videos from like different Dragon Ball guys from the SHF community, and they just kind of inspire me to do, more dynamic poses for my display. And then back here, Pop of Broly. Now, shout out to one of my best friends, Pedro, man. If he's watching these videos, he got me this pop. I think it was either my birthday or Christmas, man. He knows that Broly is my guy. Even before Dragon Ball Super movie, I just love Broly as a villain, one of my favorite villains from Dragon Ball. And he got me this pop as a gift, man. So I appreciate you, brother. And yeah, that's the top display. Let's move on to the second shelf. As you guys can see, I try to keep it kind of like sagas or, just, you know, arcs that made sense and kind of like meshed into each other. So right here we have the Saiyan Saga to the Namek Saga. And I am missing a few figures, as you guys can see. I try to get a little more dynamic right here. I have the new Frieza against the legendary Super Saiyan Goku. I have that 2.0 Goku, I believe, Awakening Goku, kind of doing that famous pose against Frieza. And yeah, man, I'm still missing a few figures. You know, I want to get more. I want to get the Doria. I want to get. What am I missing? So I think I'm missing the other forms of Frieza. I do own them. I just need to find them. I think I still need to ship some. I still have a few forms of Frieza. They just wouldn't fit in here, but I feel like I still have a lot to build, and I still need more stands and risers. So for sure, I'm still bidding on this display, but this is what it looks like right now. You know, that is kind of the beauty of collecting. You're always chasing that next piece that's really gonna put your display together. But yeah, this is what the first show is. Right down here we have the Android / Cell Saga. You want to call it the Android Saga altogether? I don't know, man. People tend to call it different things, but here's what we're looking at. Like I said, more dynamic displays. Trying to get better at it. You know, I'm more of a photography guy, but definitely trying to build dynamic displays. And we got here Trunks taking out Mecha Frieza. Then we have Gohan versus Perfect Cell. We got Cell back here doing a Kamehameha. And then we got the little opening sequence with that super awesome Gohan I got this year, man. Love that figure. And yeah, man, I'm still missing a few figures as usual. I sold all my V1, I guess, version 1s of Android 17, 18, and 16, which I kind of regret now. Hoping for versions 2 to be out soon. Also want to get Dr. Gero and Android 19 to add it to this display. And I'm pretty sure I'm missing a few figures, but yeah, man. I feel like I'm missing Jamsha too. But I heard that's a horrible figure, but you know me. I'm a Dragon Ball fanboy, so I need to be a completist. And yeah, man, it's still a work in progress. Like I said, that's what it looks like so far. Loving the look, you know, almost like a one more shelf down. Here we have the Majin Saga. Yeah, this is kind of like one side that just meshes into each other. You guys can see I had to have front and center the most epic battle of Dragon Ball Z. That was Majin Vegeta versus Super Saiyan 2 Goku, man. As you guys can see, I've been building little scenes on my display now. I think it's just easier for me to get I don't know, like supplies or the effects if I need them for photography. And they just look cool on the display. As you guys can see here, I have the best version of Gohan. I love this Gohan, man. The Saiyaman suit just works perfectly with him. One of my favorite looks for him for sure. Then over here we have Gotenks with kind of Majin Buu down back there, kind of getting pissed off at the ghost. Super Saiyan 3 Goku with Fat Buu. Is that what we call him? Or are we calling him Majin Buu? I don't know. But then we got Vegito back here. This is still the 1.0 Vegito. I never got a chance to get the 2.0 or 3.0, you call it. I am looking to getting more into third-party stuff, man. I feel like third party is definitely filling in a lot of stuff that I'm hoping SHF to release, but they're taking too long. Hopefully I can get that Kid Buu eventually, or maybe get a third-party Vegeta to go in here just to update the overall look of this display. But yeah, this is the Majin display, but not least my Super display. I'm not super proud of this display just because it's so crowded, man. I try to fit in a bunch of sagas from Super into one here. I really like the effects that I got. I think I mentioned them back in another episode of Anime Saturday where I got them from. I can't remember off the top of my head right now. But yeah, man, it's really messy in there. As you guys can see, I have Tournament of Power back there, some Battle of Gods, you know, Broly movie, the Future Trunks saga, a bunch of stuff just because Super has been releasing a lot of figures. But yeah, man, I'm not the proudest of this display. Like I said, I still need to do a lot of editing. I guess modding to this these off. I want to add, you know, a little insulation so we kind of keep the dust out as we did with the others, and then add some lights. But yeah, this is what the whole shelf is looking like for Dragon Ball, man. Definitely excited to see what else I can, you know, put together. Still by far my favorite Dragon Ball display I have so far. The classic Saiyan to Namek Saga. But yeah, like I said, man, I need more risers, I need more stands. I need more SHF stands. I just, you know, I don't tend to buy them. I just kind of, you know, pick out whatever the figure comes with. But I just hope to do a little more dynamic stuff and maybe put a few more risers in this display. So yeah, man, this is the Dragon Ball shelf, or at least the Dragon Ball details, man. I'm super proud to finally have something specifically catered to Dragon Ball and have it right next to my desk. So yeah, man, definitely loving how this Finally getting around to doing some DC Ember. I've been wanting to cook this up for a minute to continue my little Mesco verse of the DC universe. Always happy, man, when I get to revisit it and, kind of created my own version of the Batcave. I was really inspired by the Titans, kind of from the Titans show, the Batcave looking so slick and just marble black floors and just kind of this clean look to it that I really liked. And then the shot overall is kind of inspired by Arkham Knight trailer. So, but it's just the beginning. We'll move on to the next one. All right, guys, real quick. This is the final setup for my Batman introduction right here. Um, yeah, kind of have you know Jigsaw right here working as a stepping in for a goon. Put a little stand there, have the light under there, and just kind of have something I've always wanted to do, and that's Batman interrogating a goon, hanging him from a ceiling. It was a little too bright for my liking, but hey, I'm working with it. Just happy to be finishing, continuing my Mescoverse. I had a little bit of a hard time trying to pose the cape just right. It was alright, but I'll probably get that more into that in a bit. But yeah, this cape was a little difficult to pose for this one shot. Alright, guys, real quick, let's get into something I've been wanting to do for a while, and that's talk a little bit about my kit bashing, my modifications that I've done over the years. They're not a lot. I'm not claiming to be a modifier kit basher. They're probably pretty simple, like a head swap. I consider a modification, maybe an adding of a cape. That minor to major stuff, like you guys see the Batman here before me. Um, if you guys follow Dynamics already for a while, you've saw the process of me trying to modify this Batman into the perfect Batman for me, the perfect Mesco Batmans for my stories. And here we are, man. So let's get into it. I want to talk a little bit about it. Now, starting off with the cape. Shout out to Alex Richardson, man. One time I saw one of his pictures that just looked so cinematic, so slick. It reminded me of the Val Kilmer Batman suit. It is my favorite version of the Batman suit. Just how slick and shiny it looked. Everything about that Batman was super slick to me when I was a child. And I wanted something that really represented that. So I reached out to Alex, and he pretty much kind of put him in the right way to Daredevil Customs. And he went ahead and provided me with this cape right here, man. And it was his last cape he had for this Batman. And man, is this thing worth it? Just the material he used, it's not like a leather, it's almost like a not a pleather either. It's almost like a nylon, but a super shiny nylon that just photographs so beautifully. I love it, man. This thing really pushed it over the edge. And it's funny because I wasn't planning on modifying this Batman at all. It's not like I really wanted to, but I just feel like over the years, me owning this kind of forced me to, just because the cape started to deteriorate and look really ugly, and I needed a new cape. Now, the other thing that I really did for this Batman, and that's why I consider this the most modified figure I have, is I actually, as you guys remember, I did a color modification. That was for the suit, man. The suit started to deteriorate. As you guys can kind of see it here. Started to turn brownish. The underbody started to peek out through the pretty much the cloth goods and like the suit. So I didn't really like that. I hated that. It wasn't as bad as other people I saw online. And I'm not claiming to have invented this. I saw this from a YouTube video. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I remember he pretty much recommended to use a Ritz clothing dyes in order to modify this. So I went through the whole process, heated him up, disassembled them, and pretty much, as you guys can see, it's not my saturation, it's not my pictures. The suit is darker, and I did love it a little more because this is how the original solicitation for this Batman looked. Originally, it was a black undersuit with the gray kind of texturing on it, but now I turned it into a darker gray with the texturing of lighter gray, and I think it looks amazing. Um, I had a lot of fun modifying this, and I just kind of didn't get back to it, just got busy and stuff. But it's one thing I want to get back into, and that's modifying figures. And the other thing I added the Ascending Knight utility belt, just because I feel that this thing looks a little more classic, it looks a little more comic booky, and I think it's just a much nicer gold than the one that they gave us. The gold on the original utility belt that was provided for us was a little too opaque, I guess is the word. I'm not too sure, but I just like how bulky this looks. It looks imposing. It looks Batman. Just everything around it really feels like it looks really awesome and comic booky. So this is pretty much the modifications I did for this Batman, man. It's probably the most modified figure I have in my collection. And yeah, it was a process. It was definitely a learning process. I did a few mistakes, but man, does this guy look awesome. And if you guys can tell, it is turning a little brown again. I do need to touch it up one more time, go through the whole process. It's not perfect, but just be careful with it, guys. Look it up. Look up Batman modification or Mesco Batman modification. You should find the process, or you can go back in Dynamic Saturday and kind of see the little snippets I used of boiling the water and all that good stuff. But yeah, this is my Batman. Awesome. Now going down the line of like least modified, I guess, and it goes now to the McFarlane spawn. This is the Throne McFarlane spawn. The only modification I did for this guy was the chains and the cape. They both came from Max Bird Factory, I believe, on eBay. And I did go with the super large kind of like cape that just drapes over him, and you can see it all over the place. I love it though. It is the ideal look for my spawn, man. I love it. This is the Throne spawn from McFarlane, so I think he looks really amazing, really cool. As you guys can see, he's a little tall. These guys are like articulated, which is so dope to me. Like you can do whatever look you want from him. The perfect way his collar looks in the comics, whatever artist you're looking to do, you can definitely apply it right here. And the chains are unfortunately not wired, which kind of sucks. They are wired at the end, but it just doesn't really work for me. This real chain right here, as you guys can see. And another thing that I did was I added stick attack because the cape was too heavy. It wouldn't stick to him. It just wouldn't bend around his neck. So I did have to add a little bit of stick attack to the back of it. And what I also really love about this cape is this weird material, man. I don't know what it is. It is like super pliable, but it still kind of looks like leather, but not really. I don't know what it is, man, but I love this figure. It's just like, it got so good, I felt I didn't need another spawn in my collection. I was satisfied. It looks amazing. The cape is, imposing like the comic books, huge, just drapes all over the place. It is kind of falling a little apart, as you guys can see here in the wiring, but that was my fault for messing with it too much. But it's just, I don't know what material he used, man. It's like a pleather, but it's like segmented into pieces. Like it's not flaking. It's just, it looks really materialist, like what's it called? Not pleathery, but like what's the word, man? I'm brain farting right now. I can't think straight. I want to say like it just looks like a shirt material, pretty much like a stretchy shirt material mixed with pleather. And I don't know what Max Bird did, but this thing is just quality, and I love it. But yeah, this is the spawn, man. Another little modified figure I have in my collection. And now, finally, the least modified figures in my collection. I don't have much to say about this. This Punisher is the original Walgreens Punisher, just with a head swap from the Return of Marvel Legends Punisher. I still think that's the best Frank Castle sculpt we have as of right now. I still haven't picked up the 2-pack just yet. And then and pretty much I just added one of the Shield Agents kind of like a side holster, and put like the Winter Soldier gun in there, pretty much. As far as this Moon Knight goes, is one of those original release of Moon Knight. I did add the cape. I don't remember if it's Max Bird. I bought it off someone on Instagram. I really like this cape. It looks really shiny, and it just kind of blends in really nice with like the paralyzed belt and the paralyzed gauntlets he does have. But I don't know, man. The cape gets a little dirty a little easily just because it's white, but it's something minor. Added that little extra cap to it, and then he kind of just looks really dope. The other cool thing about this one, it does shape into a moon, so that's pretty cool. So it's pretty much a cape shaped as a moon, as he does in the comics. And one of the things I want to get more into, and that's right here, modifying this guy, man. I want to shave down the shoulders. I'm scared to do it. And so if anybody in the comments has any tips or anything they can give me into modifying figures, please go ahead and like just let me know in the comments. I did modify it a little bit with the snake eyes from the classified series for my last episode for Blade Month. Now, that wasn't my modifications I said earlier. That was actually Cerebral D's modification that he recommended to me, because I can't articulate this guy for the life of me. But maybe in soft goods trench coat, and then modifying the arms might make it a little better for me. But yeah, and maybe I need to get a new head sculpt. But just let me know what you guys think of what would be the best way to go ahead and shave down those arms so they can be flush and down and more articulated. And yeah, man, that's kind of what I've been modifying as of late. I don't have a lot of modifications, like I said. It was something really minor. Just a topic I wanted to get into. Maybe in the comments, you guys can tell me what figures you've modified. Maybe recommend some modifications to me, and I can start getting a little more into modifying and kit bashing some figures. So yeah, man, appreciate you guys, and let's go ahead and move on. All right, guys. So with me going ahead and getting an extra detail, I'm up to 4 now. That leaves me more space to do a little bit more display, man, and just giving it a little more clean look, giving it more spacious look for me. And here we are. So let's start with the top. We got the usual villains display. I did add a few new villains, if you guys can see. There's some that I just got this episode, kind of threw him in there. Not ready to talk about him just yet. Might talk about him next episode, but we'll see. And then we move in here to the Conan / Robert E. Howard display. And then we got a little bit of X-Force action. As I said, I want to do a little more action poses in general for everything. So I got X-Force in the background. I need to find a little more space for them to kind of be a little more visible. But with the new X-Force characters that we're getting for the Legends team, I'm finally ready to complete my favorite X-Men team. In a while, and that's the Strike Force. Got my pink skulls right here. Nothing a lot has changed, just a little more space for me to mess around with new figures, put some new figures right here in the middle. Usually when it comes to this top display, I want to be able to leave something kind of open here to put some new figures and just, a little recording space I like to leave. So yeah, let's move on to the next, the first display.
Nice.
Vibe blowing at the J, got the loud jumping at the pay. Everything I'm on slack. Everything I do is got the Benz jumping at the bay. Vibe blowing at my J, got the loud jumping at the pay. Everything I'm on slack. Everything I do is got the Benz jumping at the bay. Another milestone, look at that. Paper boy on my paper route till I'm 6 down on my back. I'm an old soul like my dad. My old girl still a fan. And yo girl at the live show, so don't act like I ain't the man. I'm kicking my feet up, get frank like Aretha. I'm calm but I'm teed up, just flip me a stack. The re-up just doubled up off of the muscle, I stuck to the task. They see me, I'm trouble, I'm bubbling up till it's stuck. And they want me to stay where I'm at. I'm good everywhere that I'm stepping, my presence is crucial. You know that this shit not no trend. On a big wave, I'm controlling the tide. Snake eyes when you rolling the dice.
Alright guys, that was a quick package I got domestically, man, and I got a few things, but I finally got around to opening some stuff, and the main 2 things I wanted to open up is this Mafex Daredevil and the new Astonishing Wolverine. So yeah, man, let's get into it. A little quick overview, and yeah, let's go ahead. Alright guys, so starting off with the Mafex Daredevil, and he's a pretty good figure, man. First impressions, I'm really having fun with it. It's just a fun factor all around. This figure comes with so many accessories, anything you would expect from a Daredevil. The paint is awesome. I really love how they like did the different reds on the boots, the gloves, the symbol, and the eyes. The accessories are all there. I really like how they, you don't get a lot of screamer sticks for Daredevil that have this little extra spot for like the stick, and they added it on him. They gave you two different wires. They even added the hooked wire, which is super cool, man. It's such a nice touch. They added obviously the screamer sticks with the wire that you saw earlier, two heads, and just anything you would expect from a Daredevil. It's and the articulation is all there. Whatever you would expect from a Mafex figure to be able to pull off, and even more, especially because of Daredevil being an acrobat. Mafex definitely understood the assignment and definitely decided to be able to push this figure to the limits and be able to pull off any pose you would expect Daredevil to be able to do. And it's all right there, man. Just so the first impressions here is I'm having a bunch of fun, so much fun factor. But contrary to what many people want to believe, with Mafex and stuff, it is not a perfect figure. And I do want to get into that a little bit. And that's with the arms. I don't think the arms are perfect. I think they're a little skinny for me, at least in my opinion. There was a little grab that I was kind of being bothered by. It's just I know they were trying to go with that Frank Miller, Romita kind of look for Daredevil, with the super thick torso and small arms and legs. But I think they could have just a tiny bit thicken those arms and just kind of make it look a little more proportional. And in my opinion, it looks more like, I believe, is Chris Savney from the Mark Waid run of Daredevil. I think his art is way more represented in this figure's aesthetic and just kind of like proportions compared to those classic looks. But that's just my opinion. And like I said, man, awesome accessories, awesome look. The paint that's on there, like the shades of red and like the shading on this figure on to make that maroon a little darker than the other reds is there. And it's just great figure. Oh, another thing is mine is super stiff. I don't know if that's a quality control issue, but it bothers me so much because even though it doesn't stop me from being a fun factor and still messing with the figure, it's still a little careful with the shoulders and the hip joints, just because those ball joints are just moving and sounding and screeching every time I move them, and it's just kind of bothersome. But other than that, man, first impressions is this figure's awesome, and I'm having a blast with it. Like I said, awesome accessories. I'm repeating myself again, so yeah, let's go ahead and move on, man. And yeah, you can say I'm super excited for this figure as well because I am a Daredevil guy more than a Spider-Man guy. Sorry, guys, Daredevil's my dude, and I'm just having a blast finally having a Mafex of him. I couldn't think of a better choice for Mafex to tackle. Maybe Punisher next. Get those ground level heroes going, but having a blast with this guy. Real quick, right here I have a little bit of a size comparison between the 3-pack Marvel Legends Daredevil and the Mafex. Like I said, man, really enjoyed the smooth look on the suit for the Mafex, even the pale face. Everything screams classic, old school, super iconic stories for the Mafex one. And I still like the Marvel Legends one. It's just a fun figure to pose, durable. The reds are, like I said, are a little more nicer on the Mafex. Obviously, it's a more expensive figure. But I think this guy still works as a good modern Daredevil. And I like Matt Murdock being a little taller than Spider-Man, man. So this works for me. He's just a tall dude, a tall lawyer, and he might be lanky, but still gets the stuff done. And yeah, let's move on to Wolverine. All right, now let's get into the astonishing Wolverine. What can I say, man? This figure was a disappointment. First impressions, it really disappointed me. Aside from the boot cut not being there, the neck really sucking, for articulating the ball joint just not working. Or is it a dumbbell joint? One of the two, just not working at all. I think that they dropped the ball, man. This figure needed more time in the oven. It's undercooked. I feel the Hasbro team felt that they needed a win, and I feel that they felt that they really needed to push out this astonishing Wolverine really fast because there's way too many things that don't make sense on this figure. Now, don't get me wrong, this figure is nicely sculpted, man. I really enjoyed the sculpting of the hair on his arms and the painting of the hair on the arms. I want them to do that for every Wolverine now. This is my first time also experiencing the new claws on the Marvel Legends Wolverines. I didn't have the animated Wolverine, so these claws are nice. They don't get warped. They're sturdy. I mean, a little paint would have been nice, but I don't expect much from Marvel Legends at this point. But my biggest issue right now with this figure that really disappointed me are two main things. The belt. I mentioned it earlier when this figure was first announced that this belt was just wrong, man. That this belt needed to be um, the same color as the Cyclops, the red and yellow, and I don't remember if it's fully black. It might have been blue. And then the little inconsistencies, sometimes in the source material he does have the squares. That's not a big deal. The big deal for me is the the belt. That really bothered me. The head sculpt's really nice. I really like this whole Messiah complex. Obviously, it's the astonishing version, but he went into this kind of look with still during the Messiah complex. Messiah wartime. He was still rocking this kind of design for Wolverine. This kind of reminds me of his Civil War design as well, which he was rocking when he was hunting Nitro. But one other thing that really bothers me with this figure is this ab crunch, man. This thing does not work. I don't care what people are telling. Yeah, like it's nice, but this belt, you guys can tell, gets in the way, man. That inverted ab crunch that they're doing with the diaphragm cut, it's not working for this figure because that belt was done so badly, man. Like I don't know what they were thinking. It's just I feel that this guy, even though you're trying to pose him, he kind of poses a little awkward. He's stiff, something that a lot of modern legends are suffering from. I feel that the plastic is not as smooth or as nice as it used to be, and I don't know, man. And also the paint, like the blue is bleeding onto the skin, onto everything right now, and I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's the factory. Um, the sculpting is great, man. Shout out to the sculptors that did this, but the Marvel Legends team just undercooked it and botched this figure. I was looking forward to this guy so much to complete my astonishing team, and just he was supposed to be kind of the new Avengers look as well. But I don't know, man. The figure, I feel like I need to mess around with it a little bit more, just because it doesn't feel natural to me to post. It doesn't have that fun factor for me. Even though it did include a lot of cool stuff, the extra hands, the pointing finger, the open hand, and the unmasked look, which is super accurate to the astonishing look he had in the art. I forgot who was the artist for that book, but I just feel that this figure did not stand up or didn't live up to what I was expecting of it or what I was hoping the astonishing Wolverine to be. So yeah, man, just like I said, a little bit of a disappointment, but we'll see. We'll mess around a little bit more with it and see how I feel a little later. All right, guys, real quick, we got the same drill as we did with the Daredevil right here. I got the Marvel Legends Astonishing Wolverine here and the Amazing Yamaguchi Astonishing Wolverine here. I think that's what he went by, right? It's I think it's supposed to be the same costume, just the Yamaguchi version on this side. And as you guys can see, they're around the same height. I'm not really bothered by his height. Like you guys heard, I didn't really mention it. I was kind of complaining a little bit about the figure. The height is okay to me. He's still kind of like a 5 foot, guy. I think Wolverine is what, 4'11" in the comics. Don't quote me on it. I'm not a super expert in Wolverine, but I think that this height still works for me when it comes to just scaling on a 6-inch Wolverine. I think the scaling is good. It just works for me as long as Wolverine is not any taller than these two, because as you guys can tell, they're pretty close to the same size. So as far as Wolverine stays within this height, I'm okay with the scaling. Smaller will be better, but it's not a big deal breaker for me. Now, as far as the two go, I'm probably gonna have this guy go on my X-Men display, with my Astonishing X-Men. I'm gonna put this guy on my New Avengers display. Just to have two versions of Wolverine. As you guys can see, I kind of wish they did this X with the yellow and the red on this Wolverine to kind of match the Astonishing Cyclops, and I think it's a little more accurate to the book. But it's not a big deal for me, man. Just it's still a good figure in general, a good Marvel Legends, but it's not a great figure. I was disappointed by it. And this Amazing Yamaguchi is still one of the better Wolverines I have in my collection. This thing poses crazy, it looks amazing, and it's super fun. But yeah, man, let's go ahead and move on. Working on a little pose in here with Daredevil. Starting off a little bit pretty chill, just trying to test some stuff out. Using the same little method I used with Spider-Man and that blade shot. No stick attack, not to damage the figure. And yeah, man, building out a setup real quick. One thing I do hate about bendy wire cables is even though they are posable, a lot of the times they don't look natural, man. Like for some reason, the cable wants to bend at these weird angles, and you guys can see. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but just those weird kind of like small bends all through the wire that just makes it look like a wire rather than an actual, cable or like I guess like a rope. And I don't know, man. I think it's the whole art form in itself trying to get that to look natural. Like right there, I feel like it looks a little more natural than on this side. But no, still working with this Daredevil. Gonna add a few stuff to it as well. Those of you asking, I always pre-post my figure, man. When it comes to building a setup, I always build it around the figure itself. I post it first. I first have what I guess I always have an idea of what I want the figure to look like, what pose I want it to be, and then I build the world around it. So I always recommend that, man. Don't try to build the world off camera. It just never looks right. So try to build a pose first, know what you want to shoot, know what action you want your figure to be doing, and then build the world around it. And this is what the complete setup ended up looking like. Yeah, something pretty quick. Well, it wasn't quick at all. Actually took a fat minute setting it up, but here we are. Complete. On the other hand, trying to hide a stand is a complete art form in itself, man. Like, you guys have no idea how long I took to find the right angle just to try and hide that stand. It took me like 2 hours just to find the perfect angle where I felt, satisfied with the shot and just made it look natural. But I mean, it's the nature of the beast, man. I never really want to Photoshop a stand out. And yeah, there's a shot. Messy ass desk, but made it seem like a city. At least as much as I could. Alright, man, it's late as hell. I'm going to bed. Fuck this. On to the next one. The more I mess around with Daredevil, the more I've noticed that it's kind of more difficult for me to pose acrobats. I guess acrobatic characters, man. Because there's this kind of weird thing that I kind of do that I want an acrobat to look natural and still human. Something Olympic athlete could pull off, but at the same time, they are superheroes, so they should be doing pretty crazy stuff. But I just find it hard finding the right balance between that and I guess the Spider-Man, because when you think about Spider-Man poses, it's so fantastical. It's like twisted, this arachnid posing that, in my opinion, I think it's much simpler to kind of make the idea of, if that makes sense. Kind of like to just decide that you're going to go with this Spider-Man pose, because Spider-Man has really iconic poses, if that makes sense, that are unique to him. But characters like Daredevil, Nightwing, even Batman, trying to make them look human but still, acrobatic and poseable is kind of difficult for me. So I've been learning to kind of make stuff look more natural, I guess, something like humans could probably pull off, but at the same time be a little fantastical. But yeah, just something I thought about that kind of made Spider-Man unique, in my opinion. Why you see a lot of people posing Spider-Man all the time online, in comparison to other more acrobatic characters that are not Spider-Man, I guess. And just a little pose for the shelf, messing with something. That cable, man, does not look natural. Still having trouble with that, but we'll work on that for now. Guys, starting with the first shelf on the first main display, got my Mescoverse, DC Mescoverse display right here. Nothing much changed, just added a few more characters. Took out my McFarlane Mafex, because, man, I've been seeing a lot of horror stories about heavier figures breaking through the glass. So, just wanted to go ahead and take a little bit of a chance and take it out. I mostly have Mesco figures in here, except for that Alfred in there. He's kind of I think he's a DCUC. And yeah, man, nothing much changed. Like I said, added a little more stands in there, a little more dynamic, not dynamic, but a little more rising, so you can see more figures. And yeah, man, flying characters are just in here. I think the Talon fell in here. Let me see if I can get. Oh fuck! I just dropped this motherfucker. God damn, boys. All right, cut. We're gonna cut that out. Might leave it inside, but fuck it. The magic of editing. Talon. Or Talon. It's actually there. I don't know. Talon. The Talon. Jesus Christ. Can't pronounce that shit. But yeah, that's the only other one that's not a Mesco figure. And I wanted to highlight it a little bit because it's actually a Greg Capullo DC Signature figure, man. It's one of the nicer ones. Really wish I would have picked up the Riddler and the Batman, but that's the only one I have. And yeah, that's the DC shelf right there. And along, we have one of my favorite shelves right here, and that's the new Avengers shelf. With, you know, more space, a little more, you know, creativity can take place. And here it is. And I have a little bit scene, you know, playing out here. I took out the hand. I have that Rebel Tech Wolverine, still one of the nicer Rebel Techs I own. Really love this figure. The Mafex Spider-Man, kind of like wondering why they're always fighting ninjas. Bucky Cap, and the rest are legends, man. It's just, you know, one of my favorite teams of all times for Avengers, and definitely excited to finally build out a mini scene with it in my shelf. And I think it looks great, man. Just a little bit of vanilla posing right here, something chill. Alright guys, moving right along, I have my X-Men / Marvel Knights display. So you guys can see, I'm trying to work on a little more dynamic stuff with Spider-Man back there, but it's a little bit of my more crowded shelf. This one didn't change much at all. Just added new stuff like that new Wolverine with my X-Men, Astonishing X-Men. Then I have a few X-Men in there, pretty much. And my Marvel Knights, man, added a new Mafex Daredevil in the front. My boy, Daredevil. Always leading the Marvel Knights, in my opinion. Then we got, you know, just a simple display, nothing too fancy. Got the new Mafex I got last episode right here. Ideally, I want to switch that guy out with the Wolverine from the brown suit Wolverine, man. I've heard a lot of people talking about those CT toys. You know, me personally, I kind of want to wait for the original Mafex, but maybe I'll dip my toe. You know, I'm trying to get into more, you know, third-party stuff, and I think starting off with a brown suit might be the thing to do. So yeah, might switch that out with a CT toy. See how that goes. Everybody's going crazy for that stuff, man. Definitely excited to see if the quality is really there. And yeah, it's kind of what the more crowded display is looking like. Onto the bottom shelf, I have my classic Avengers. Yeah, man, mainly kind of inspired by Earth's Mightiest Heroes version. So you guys can see it here. I have the Marvel Legends Half-Life Giant Man. You know what's crazy? I only took one picture of this guy, then shoved him in the shelf. I told you guys I was gonna give my final opinions on it. It's a cool figure. Was it worth $200? I don't know, man. It's a giant Marvel Legends. You know, to shoot him once and not use him again is kind of crazy. But I mean, he looks amazing in here. Looks pretty cool, trying to like break out of the shelf. I also have that new Nick Fury back there. And yeah, that's kind of it. That's what the display is looking like. My classic Avengers. In a bit of a holiday spirit for the shot. Just want to say Merry Christmas to all my subscribers, man. Really appreciate you guys checking it out. And I'm working on a little bit of a Christmas shot right here. So yeah, man, by the time this thing comes out, probably Christmas is already passed. So Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, everybody. I did always enjoy the relationship between Nightwing and Superman. You know, Dick being the first Robin, and you know, Superman always kind of being a mentor to him type of thing, almost like an icon. And yeah, simple shot. Nightwing and Superman exchanging gifts. Continuing with the Christmas theme, gonna have Superman playing the role of Santa Claus. He is known for loving Christmas, so it would make sense that he would be tracking all his friends down to give him a gift. It's just the Superman thing to do. As you guys can see here, I'm using a little bit of fake snow. But fuck, man, probably the last time I ever used this. It just made a nasty ass mess. It's messy to try and get real snow looking effects. To my middle display. And it's probably one of my proudest displays, the most clean one I have. Starting with this one right here, this is kind of like my indie / you know, kind of, you know, not main DC or Marvel comic display right here. So we got the turtles with Mirage turtles from NECA. Got the Casey Jones back there. I have, you know, one of my pride possessions, and finally in his rightful place, one of the top shows. I got the 1,000 Toys Hellboy. And Ape Sapien. Initially, I wanted to put in the replacement, but I still haven't picked up the second one that released this year. It hasn't released yet, technically. And I want to go ahead and put Lobster Johnson in here once it does come out. So yeah, excited for those. And then back here, got a little bit of Spawn action. The Spawn you guys saw earlier with the custom cape. And then we got the Marvel Legends Angela, because it's just, you know, the scale just kind of fits, right? Especially with my foreign being 7-inch. But yeah, here's what my indie comics / miscellaneous shelf is looking like. Definitely one of my cleaning on to the second shelf. This is gonna be my Mafex Batman Hush display. I've been trying to keep up with the Hush line just because I do love that storyline. I love Jim Lee's artwork, and just having these guys in figure form is just something that is really amazing to me. And having a whole Batman shelf, you know, finally for Hush, is something I've been wanting to do for a minute. So yeah, starting off here, as you guys can see, we've got the world's finest, a little bit of Superman and Batman posing. Like I said, a little more dynamic stuff, a little bit more on there. I'll need to get more risers just to kind of elevate this display and kind of have them up top. Then on this side, we kind of have Nightwing leading the sidekicks. We have, technically that's Hush, but I'm using him as Red Hood, and then Huntress. We got some villains right here. I still need to track, even though it's not Hush, I still want to add that Bane. And I can't wait for that Riddler and Scarecrow to come in. And funny story, man. So for this one right here, my blue Batman, I usually don't shoot this Batman because the wiring on my cape broke, man. So yeah, this Batman is kind of, defective. It has a broken cape, pretty much wire. So I kind of have him here unmasked with Selena Kyle and just chilling. But yeah, this is what the Batman Hush display is looking like. Right along to the next display. This is my anime miscellaneous display, man. So as you guys can see here, I have Chainsaw Man from my top of my number one figure from 2023, I want to say. Yeah, 2023 it was. And he was my number one. Love this figure. Then we got over here some Naruto action, Then we got some Berserk action right here, the Beast of Darkness chilling back there, and then the original release for Guts. But yeah, man, just pretty simple, pretty clean, really museum like. A little bit of my favorite enemies down here. Just something to add that's not Dragon Ball. Still want to add more figures to it, Gotta track a few more things down, but mainly SHF just down here. Last but not least, my Hot Toys Darth Vader. Man, this is definitely a grail piece for me. Just the way the lighting looks, the Vader so imposing, the pose, the details from Hot Toys. I got the replica from Galaxy X right here. It's just, everything just works out for me. He's looking amazing. And the reason he's at the bottom is just because I have this thing where I want to have like all my larger figures at the bottom. Ideally, I want to go ahead and get another Hot Toys, whether it's Luke or Anakin or some other Hot Toys to put right next to him. But for now, this is what the display is looking like at the bottom. And yeah, man, this is a grail piece I picked up earlier this year, as you guys can remember. And this guy is just, the way the light shines on him, just the overall display. I'm definitely enjoying how this is looking. I guess the end game is for me to go ahead and put like shelves at the bottom to rise the display, rise the details and have a better look at him. But for now, I think he looks really amazing. Hey, what's up everybody? Future Rick here, checking in with a battle posing update. Alright guys, so starting with match 1 or round 1. Now, before I reveal those that will be moving on to round 2, just finished working on a quick setup for my battle posing update. you guys haven't checked that out, go check out those scores, man. Just to continue on to round 2. But yeah, this Beast Gohan is just mad fun to play with. I did see a few Gohans finally show up at Target, so you guys haven't picked up that figure. It's pretty much the same body mold as the Beast Gohan. So if you can pick up a third-party Beast mode head, or Super Saiyan Beast, or whatever you want to call it, you can put on that figure, and it should be good to go. But yeah, man, definitely recommend that figure. I'm gonna need to double back and pick up another one for myself. Get up to at least 2 or 3. Still no Deku though. Might, I still want to pick that up if I see it in person at Target. Why not? But yeah, still no Deku showing up, so waiting for the last detail right here. It's my Star Wars detail. Nothing has changed much here. Haven't added anything new. I haven't purchased really a Black Series in about a year, man, which is kind of insane. But yeah, can I have my Clone Wars display right here real quick? Nothing too drastic. I still hope to complete that team. I think I said it in the last episode, but yeah, this is what the display is looking like. I haven't touched in the last year or so. My Imperial display. I have that Obi-Wan Kenobi Vader right there, and I have Thrawn chilling with the Emperor, and I hope to get another Imperial guard maybe. And yeah, man, and maybe update all those Stormtroopers. Those are the version 1s from Black Series, the first ones that came out. And I kind of want to update it with the newer Stormtroopers. They look much nicer. But yeah, it's kind of like the Imperial display. The only display that did change this year, I added that newer Mando. Right here with the Darksaber, that Book of Boba Fett. I took off the cloak from Luke just to make him look a little cleaner. And I added the Ahsoka from Mafex right there. And yeah, have my Rebels in the background. And yeah, not the greatest. I still need to touch it up. I need to clean this thing, man. But yeah, this is what the Star Wars display is looking like for the most neglected show. Well, there she goes. But yeah, my most neglected show probably. I still need to add the Bo-Katan to the setup just to kind of, have her in here. I haven't opened her yet, and then I have my old bounty hunters right here. But yeah, that's it. What do you need? Can I help you? Yeah. Alright guys, that's been the display so far. And a little bit of entrance from my cat. Alright guys, little sneak peek for next episode. But yeah, it's been another episode of Dynamic Saturday. Just want to say I appreciate all of you guys that make it to the end as always. So it means a lot, man, to have anybody at all being able to check out these videos and actually telling me they enjoy them, man. Shout out to all of you that commented on the last episode. Stuff like that keeps me going. Even though sometimes it could be a little tedious to drop these big episodes, man. But just, the love from everybody and just seeing everybody's awesome comments really kind of pushes me to keep just dropping these episodes and having fun with my figures, man. But as far as everything goes, I dropped a battle posting update with new scores for round 2. So look forward to that, guys. Round 2 should be starting shortly after I drop this video. You know what? I don't want to lie. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I don't know when it's gonna drop. Ideally, I want it to be shortly, but probably be figuring that out by the time you see this video. And I just want to say Happy New Year's to everybody. Didn't get to drop that. And I want to say that I really look forward to, growing the channel, man. It means a lot to be just having the amount of people that actually enjoy watching my stuff is just awesome. And if you guys can, rate, comment, and share, I really appreciate all of you that support this channel at all. A shout out to all the losers that keep doing downvotes on my videos, whether that's battle posing, for those that can't handle a score or can't handle criticism, and to those that just don't like me, man. So, going into 2025, screw all of you. And just looking forward to keep dropping some cool stuff, man. So just letting you guys know, all of you that keep disliking my shit, still engagement, baby, still engagement. So I appreciate you guys taking time to hate on my videos and just check them out. And yeah, man, just look forward to battle posing. I will be also dropping my top 10 soon, so it's probably gonna be the next video after this Dynamic Saturday episode. And I love all my subscribers, man. I appreciate you guys, for real. You guys are awesome. I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't have. You know what? I lie. I'll probably keep doing it even if I didn't have anybody watching. But the fact that I have 150 people that subscribe, and even more that watch, even if you're not subscribed, I still appreciate you. I am looking to increase my subscribers, but hey, man, subscribers is not everything. So just by the fact that you guys tune in, it's all good to me. So thank you guys. I appreciate you. And this has been another episode of Dynamic Saturday. Keep enjoying these, and I'll keep dropping them.